we will go to a little bit of game day squad to finish. Why don't we just go through what we did in terms of a score for the round, and then we'll have a look at kind of maybe a few changes that we're going to do. I scored a 901. I'm playing Classic. What version are you playing here, Andy?
I've got starter and classic, but would you like to tell the punters how to see their previous scores
Yeah, you
on
just go
their
to
internet site?
you go to the dashboard. It's a lot easier than the app actually. So you just go log in online, go to the dashboard, and it'll give you a leaderboard. And depending on the
Yep.
comp, you can go to different classic, starter, challenger, or do you just go to starter because of? Oh yeah, you do go. Oh no, I don't. I'm not in starter. Maybe I'm in challenger as well. No, I'm not in challenger. I'm just in classic. But I've made some good changes this week. I'm going matchups here, Andy. I'm thinking that Brian Toho, Paul Alamotti. I'm liking Chin. I think you've got to get around those three guys. I'm liking a bit of Sharkies, and I'm liking Tricky Trindle, actually. So I've got a gold card, Tricky Trindle. I'm liking Callum Ponga to score a bit. Tommy Travojevic over in New Zealand. I'm backing Dylan Lucas as well. Your man that you mentioned before, Terrell May. My mid is Terrell May, Isaiah Yo, and Payne Haas with Connor Watson on the bench, mate. So I think I'm going to score some points here. But how many points did you score last week, and kind of any kind of key matchups that you're looking at this week?
My internet is absolutely horrendous, so it's still it's still loading on my end. But I think I scored. Where was it? Competitions.
Why don't you just make it up? You scored a 990.
Dashboard classic.
What do you got?
So I started with Cook, unfortunately, so he didn't score too well, and also I was on the Hopgood train,
Yeah,
which was
gotcha.
unfortunate. But I did manage to have a silver Haas, a silver Yo. I had iPads and Crichton too, so two gun edges in my edge, but they just
Yeah,
didn't deliver, unfortunately. But
but you just
also I
love
had the
them, and
Nathan
that's the
Cleary.
beauty. Like you can just pick them.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. You can just pick them. Well, that's a good thing about it. If you're going to have one good game, you chuck him in. But Nathan Cleary and had the Cleary Hines combo, which was worked well for me last year. But
yeah,
Hines obviously underwhelming there. But how about these centre pairings?
gotcha.
Valentine
Go.
Holmes and Herbie Farmworth.
I like it a
So those
lot.
two were quality. Then I had Zach Lomax and Greg Marju was going to be my winger fullbacks for last year. And I got too involved when we had our interview with James Tedesco, and I had James Tedesco in my fullback. So
Yeah, you
he
fell in
sort
love
of
with
let me
him.
down there. No, he let me down, unfortunately.
Nice. Let's go to sit and start for the week here, Andy. Now let's go and look at fullbacks in the Knights and Finns game. They're both pretty active last week. Ponga and Hammer. I'm going to say that the Knights might hammer the Finns on here in front. So I'm going to stay with my man Ponga. I'm going to say that he's going to score an 80 in GDS. I think Hammer will still score a 50. What do you got?
What a pun. What a pun. Ponga will hammer the Knights, the Finns. Yeah, 100%. Ponga is definitely getting that spot between those two. Hammer did play well, and he did score well without a try too. So, but I think Ponga takes it. Like you said, he's got a great run, and he's already just firing.
Wise versus Manly, Andy. We're going to look at the halves. Now, the guy under scrutiny in Fantasyland, Luke Metcalf versus, the old stager. He just doesn't miss games. He scored an 80 last week. DCE. Now, they hammered the Cowboys. You know what? I started the narrative about the Wise winning the spoon. I
Yeah.
think Manly are going to put 30 on them.
Well, look at the way they played on the weekend. DCE was one of the best halfbacks. He's turned back the clock on his age.
Remember
If
Corbs?
you can,
DCE. And he said that
yeah,
for
what's
like
his
half
name?
of bloody Magic Round.
I think I can say DCE without it playing in my head just
Yep.
constantly.
I just was thinking
But yeah,
about Corbs, his bold head just saying it.
DCE. But yeah, he definitely wins it. He'll brain it. So if you've got DCE, put him in your team. If not, pick him up in the market.
Nice. Now let's go to the edge position. Now Penrith versus Roosters here, Andy. Now Liam Martin versus Angus Crichton, the two state of origin starting edges. Now Liam Martin had an absolute massive game last week. Angus Crichton not looking good at all, man. Oh, mate, I'm going to say that I can't see Angus hitting over 50, and I can see Martin hitting 50. So this is going to be a close tussle. No, I'm going to lean with Liam Martin. I think he's going to score a try in this one.
Uh, yeah, they do look too bad. You can't go Angus. Even though, like you said, he is that quality sort of player, but you can't have one quality player in your team and expect him to score a mozza. Maybe for a chance he could get a try or a couple of tackle breaks or a line break because Martin has a Martin has a potential to not play 80 minutes too. And he does go 80 to 60 minutes every week to sort of maintain his fitness throughout the season. So, especially when you've got Papali'i on the bench to fill in for him. So, there is a risk there of him not playing the full 80. But I think against this game, I think Martin wins it.
Nice. Let's keep the edge position, Andy. Souths versus Dragons. I've got a Luciano Leilua versus Keon Kolamatangi. Now, Keon obviously scoring really well last week. I like him a lot. Now, Leilua, just inconsistency, mate. Even with matchups like this. What are we thinking Keon can score in this one? Or maybe you're going against me.
I'm going to go against him. I'm going with Leilua. And I feel like because the up and down, the Charity Shield, they won the Charity Shield. So this is like the rematch of the Charity Shield and trials. Leilua will be good. I think the Dragons played well the second half. I think they just sort of started really slow in that game against the Doggies. So I feel like they'll learn from that. And I think Leilua is in for a big game this round.
Yeah,
so I'm going against you.
Okay, so what do you reckon he scores? 60? Score a little meaty?
67, 70.
Ooh, very tight. Now let's go to hookers. Now let's go to Sharks versus Cowboys. A couple of really good hookers in this one, Andy. We're talking about Blake Brayley versus Reece Robson. Could be the state of origin battle here. Now, Robbo was really poor last week, and as the Cowboys were. Well, Brayley just was a tackle monster. What are we thinking up there in Townsville? Andy, can Robbo kind of bounce back?
No. It's a clear no there. I think they just eventually they just need to have some good wins for him to sort of be relevant again. I think Brayley was a tackle bot in that first game. Maybe that was because of the short field, and maybe that's because he had less meters to run. But I still think he does the same here against the Cows. Brayley was on fire, and he's a better Brayley at the moment. And until that changes, I'll think I'll pick him over Robson.
All right, let's go to the mid position. This is going to be really interesting here. Now, Raiders Broncos, we're doing this game. Horse versus Haas. Two of the most impressive mids from round one. Horse is going to step up in the absence of Tarpany. We know the form that Haas is in at the moment. He's destructive. Could this be closer than what we think? Ranger versus Goliath. I think this is going to be tight. I don't think you can go wrong picking either. But if you can pick both, pick both. I think both are going 60 plus here, Andy.
I was going to say por que no los dos. I think definitely pick both if you can. But if you don't have one or the other, I think they'll do well. Again, Horse, who are they playing? The Raiders? Oh, sorry, obviously the Broncos. I think Horse would do well. Like you said, the middle of Kobe Hetherington, I don't really see him as a staple defender. I think Horse could actually make some breaks there. And Haas is going to go off. You only play 49 minutes, whereas Horse is a 55-minute. So he'll play on the field with no Haas eventually. So he'll break the line.
Nice. Let's move to your game on Sunday here, Andy. We'll go for a centre battle and two guys that you really like, Eels versus Tigers. We've got Adam Dewey versus Zach Lomax. Now, no doubt that, Parramatta weren't putting too many points up, but I really like, mate, is Adam Dewey, is he one of the best kickers in the NRL? His strike is amazing, mate.
He's quality. Obviously, I'm not sure if you haven't, but there's that scene where, I think it was on the Matty John show where they were balking him.
Heckling him, yeah.
Yeah, they were heckling, and he just kicks it like cool as a cucumber, nails it, and then looks back and gives him a smile. So I think he wins here purely because there's no Moses for Lomax. Ronald Volkman had a terrible kicking game, and I don't know how he improves in one game. So Lomax is sort of left in the dark there on attack, unfortunately, and Dewey with that with his kicking game, and he's actually played pretty well. If anything goes wrong with the halves, he can definitely step in there to recover too. So Dewey wins it for me.
Yeah, I've got no doubt that he's going to be relevant at some point in this season if injuries do happen. But I'm with you. I think Adam Dewey will have a big game on Sunday. Now, last one is another Sunday game, Dogs versus Titans. Two really big halves here, mate, in terms of their fantasy scoring. Burton versus Campbell should dominate the kicking. But our man Campbell, I think a lot of us are getting around him, sighting player. I'm going to just give him the edge. I don't think it's going to be much, though. I'm going to give Campbell a 65. I'm going to give Burton a 55 here, mate. What are your thoughts?
I think Campbell goes big. I think Campbell 70. Burton, Toby Sexton potentially takes some more kicking meters off than round one. I think Campbell wins this by 20 points. Burton 55, Campbell 75.
Nice. Well, that was sit and start. Get around Game Day Squad. You get free packs by entering TL25. When you first sign up, you get 3 packs. It's worth $20. That's gamedaysquad.com.au, or just get the app, which is also free. It's a nice way to play. It's just more about picking weekly matchups. That's what I love about it, because you can literally clear your team on the weekly, pick your favorite players, and then get started collecting cards. So get around it. But Andy, another great potty there, mate. That's TL2, 2 weeks in the bag, mate. So as we always do, this season just keeps flying, man.
Nah, it's good. Good to be back, isn't it? I'm keen.
Yeah, mate.
Hopefully, I just can get my trades mid round better. That'll be fine.
You'll be right, mate. Top 50,000 for sure. Once Corpse comes back, I can't wait for Corpse versus Andy as the regular kind of matchup. But ladies and gentlemen, get around the socials. Talking League Pod, Facebook, Insta, TikTok. Check out Andy's great video from this week. Talking League Shorts on the YouTube there as well. Plenty more to come. I filled in on the Q&A, so that will be out on Wednesday morning. So that's about a 20-minute Q&A, but the big one to get around is probably the Thursday live Q&A, because Jakey and the boys do a fantastic job. That's 6:30 New South Wales time, 5:30 Queensland time, 8:30 in New Zealand. So definitely a great show to put in your last minutes kind of questions in there. Get around Waz Weekly and then TK's Black Book, and that's only on Talking League Shorts, first on a Monday night and then drop Tuesday as some audio.